So guys, you've been seeing the amount of controversy around the F-15E getting the new engine, the F-15I being added, and they're being basically super fighters on the terms of weight and thrust weight, basically. Not weight, like thrust and thrust weight. And yeah, I don't know why Gaijin didn't think of this that I'm about to show to you guys. So there was an option where not everybody would be happy, because then it would mean no F-15I, but at the same time, I think Gaijin would be happy along with the community, right? And yeah, I'm gonna give my idea. It is not coming, of course, but it would be interesting to think about, right? So my idea here is that instead of having the F-15I added to the game, the RAM, it would be the RAM, I don't know how to pronounce that. It would be the F-15D. Why the F-15D, guys? Well, because the Israelis don't use it only as a training aircraft. They actually use it as an air-to-ground aircraft, which means that it would be very similar to the F-15I in many situations, meaning that the Americans could actually receive what Gaijin wanted, because that's the thing, right? What Gaijin wanted was basically to add the F-15E without having that aircraft to overshine the F-15C as a fighter, right? So that is just completely out of the window now, because of course the F-15E is getting the new engines, which I think is fair when you give the Israelis an F-15I with the engines, right? But the thing is, the F-15I has never received another engine, you know, that it's not the 229. So they're kind of obliged to add that version of the engine, and with that the Americans are getting the F-15E with the better engine. So everybody's kind of like, maybe shouldn't be added, maybe he should. It's controversial, right? A lot of talks have been happening because of that. So my idea, like I was saying, is instead of having the F-15I, have the F-15D that was used for air-to-ground, and have the F-15E as a normal aircraft, like without the new engine, right? And then after that, I'm not saying that don't add the F-15E with the better engine, right? Just add the F-15E with a better engine, but also with the AESA radar in the future when we start to get the 4+ generation jets, right? So from next update or next year, whatever they start to add these more powerful aircraft, add the F-15E with the new engine and with the APG-82, I think it's called, right? AESA radar. Then it would mean that it is a proper modern F-15E, right? And then have the Israelis have the same. Have the F-15D right now that would have the same engines as the C. It would be basically the same aircraft as the F-15E in general, without the new engine, right? But with some different loadouts that we're going to talk about later. And with that, they can add the F-15I later as an upgrade with upgraded everything, radars and everything as well, being a very, very modern aircraft and properly implementing these aircraft as modern versions of the F-15E, right, later down the line when it's actually going to be added, right, with Python 4s, with better A120s, with better air-to-ground capabilities, etc., etc., better radars, better engines and everything, right? I'm not saying that I'm against what they're doing. If they're gonna add the F-15I for the Israelis, they should have the F-15E with the same engine for the Americans. But at the same time, should we even see these aircraft at all right now? That's the controversy around it, right? I'm not saying that I concur or I agree with it, but this would be another option that would be very cool in my opinion. Have an early model of B-placed F-15s and the late models of B-placed F-15s, right? So let me know in the comments what you think about it. But what is the actual F-15D? So what would be the difference between the I that we received, right? Well, the main differences are going to be, of course, the engine, because the I is also would be using, only uses the 229 engine, but the D variant would use the same engine. So it would be that aircraft that it's heavier, it is more made for air to ground, it's not gonna be as good to other aircraft in BVR and stuff, what Gaijin actually wanted, right? So it would be very similar to the F-15E without the upgrade in the engine. With the 200 engine, I think it is, right? Is it? I don't remember, but still. At the end of the day, that would be it. You know, the aircraft would be pretty much the same as the F-15E with some minor changes. It's the 220, sorry, 220. And the changes come in the air-to-ground capability, right? Because the F-15D, as I said, would be cool because, of course, it would be a new variant for the game of the F-15, a variant that we wouldn't receive otherwise. And it would have a very extensive air-to-ground capability. What are the weapons of it? Of course, AIM-120s, AIM-9Ms, Python 3s, these would all be added. Of course, the GBU-15s, JDAMs, and unguided stuff like the F-15 BAS, Meshupar, right, and the F-15C MSIP-2. But the major thing would be the addition of new weapons, right? So the two options over here, I think there are more options out there. It's just that it is really hard to find information on the various amounts of weapons that they use. But the two options that I think would be very cool and would give the Israelis a big place at F-15 that it would have actually uniqueness onto it would be the Popeye air-to-ground missile / glide bomb. It's more of a missile, but still, which is an IR TV guided with inertial navigation system, similar to the PGM type missile bomb, right? So very large payload, very, very strong, a very good range of 70 kilometers in real life. I mean, in the game it would be less because it's locking and stuff, and you know how it is. But at the end of the day, you would have a 340 plus warhead, kilograms of warhead, and a very good range, and just a very, very strong missile. Also, another one that it's very similar to it as well, but it's more on the guided bomb kind of situation, would be the SPICE bomb, which is the Smart Precise Impact Cost-Effective Bomb. It is an Israeli-developed, electro-optical GPS guidance kit that it's added for unguided bombs like the Mark 83 and 84 bombs. And basically what you have is a GPS, but mainly TV-guided bomb that it's very, very smart and very, very powerful to be added there with no propulsion, but very, very, precision, right? Precision bomb. It does have a drop and forget kind of situation, but also apparently in some conditions it can actually have a man-in-the-loop guidance system. So it could actually be TV guided, but basically the pilot would kind of control the bomb a little bit, changing the direction of the bomb and stuff. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, with data link and stuff, I think he needs to use a pod for that. But still, it would be very, very, very cool to see these bombs. And again, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have the F-15I or the E in the current way that it will be added, but wouldn't it be cool to see an F-15D before the F-15I? Being what GAIJIN actually intended them to be, a proper air-to-ground F-15, and then after that they can add the fully modern F-15I, the fully modern F-15E with IASA radars and all sorts of cool stuff like that, right? And the new engine and stuff. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it, just spitballing over here, but yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about it. I think it would be way cooler to see the F-15D, a new variant of the F-15 in the game. For later, we have the I, and then the normal F-15E being added without the engine upgrade for the Americans. So the GAIJIN and the community, everybody's happy with a new aircraft, right? And nobody's OP, nobody's power creeped, nothing like that, right? I think it would be cool. Of course, I have no control over it, and they will add the F-15E and I, so we just have to sit and wait. But this would be a cool idea, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you think. This is just an idea, again. Don't get mad. Oh my god, this community can get mad by some things very quickly. I'm not saying the US doesn't deserve anything. I'm not saying the Russians that deserve stuff. I'm not saying that, okay? Just calm down. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. It would just be nice to have both. Now with this, and later in the next patch or a patch after that, the other F-15Es with the advanced stuff, right? It would be cool to have this division of 1980s, 90s, and 2000 stuff, and really modern versions of the F-15s. But yeah, anyway, this is only my opinion. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye guys, see you.